Yakubu Gowon, you are a great liar. I don't care how much you made from this lie of a biography that you have written. What pains me is that you're lying against a dead man. You waited all these years until Ojukwu died. Then you come out to lie. You have told countless versions of this Aburi Accord. At your old age, you are still lying. What are you afraid of, Gowon? Tell me, what are you afraid of? An old man like you, nearly in your grave, and you're still lying. Why? What are you afraid of? What kind of cowardice is this? Why can't you tell the truth? Okay, why can't you publish like Ojukwu did, the agreement, the Aburi Accord? Publish it. You're writing, you're just telling your own side of the story. We know the truth. And people, please watch these two videos and you tell me who is lying. I come out always to counter this because if you don't counter it, Nigeria don't have history in their curriculum. They will promote Gowon's lies. That's why I'm trying to counter it. Always. And I know many people will do the same.
Are available. The records
but at the end
there.
of it, I don't want to go because this
In
thing.
fact, only about 2 weeks ago, I saw a set of the records again. The records, the transcripts are available. In
But
fact,
we
only
talked
about 2
about the
weeks ago,
Nigerian
I saw a set
situation.
of the records again. And
Certainly.
the transcripts are available.
At the end, but we talked
Everybody
about the
says,
Nigerian
"Oh,
situation.
you told them this, you did that." The fact was that
Certainly.
our case was so
At the
clear.
end,
Everybody says, "Oh, you told them this, you
That
did that." The fact was that
I actually believe
our
that the end of
case was
Aburi.
so clear.
But the problem was not Gowon.
But
that
probably some ambassadors in Lagos
I
who
actually
were
believe that the end of
pressing
Aburi.
for something else.
So the problem was not Gowon.
Because we understood each other. We
But
agreed
probably
on
some
every
ambassadors in
single
Lagos
point.
who were
The
pressing
drafting
for
was in
something
fact
else.
my because we
Chief
understood
Secretary.
each other. We agreed on every
With two
single
other chief
point.
secretaries from the other.
The drafting was in fact my chief secretary
With two other chief secretaries from the other side.
I said no, and drafted and agreed. We looked at it, we agreed. General Ankara read over the whole report again to us at the end. Asked us if we wanted to amend anything. No. At the end of all that, the position was so good that actually Ankara drove Jack, Gowon, and myself to the airport. Jack was sitting on his left, I was sitting on his right. He was in the middle. And in the course of that journey, at a point, General Ankara shook his head and said, "Oh, thank you. Thank you. If only we can go on like this, everything would be all right." I believe I was the one. As I do now from time to time, I go for the dramatic. Suddenly I picked up Gowon's hand, put it on Ankara's lap, brought my other hand, placed it on it, and I said, "General, sir, hold us together, I want to say something." So General Ankara put his hand on top of the two hands, and I said, "General, I want to assure you that I am totally satisfied with everything we said. I will even go further and say to you something I did not say at the conference, and that is that once we have implemented everything we have said, I would ask you for one favor and one favor only, and that would be to be the one to propose Jack Gowon as a head of state of Nigeria.
So at the Aburi Accord, Ojukwu was prepared. He said, look, let's reduce tension. Let's allow each region operate fairly, semi-autonomously. Let's minimize unnecessary contacts that will bring pain and suspicion. It will still remain a country, could have everything, our defense together. But Gowon agreed because he saw that he was going to save the nation from going to war, save the nation from crippling, and restore some peace. He agreed. They signed off.
At Aburi Accord.
Aburi. So Ojukwu came back and we all hailed and said, thank God, we're staving off war, staving off this. A few days after that, Gowon now reneged. He had come, his permanent secretary, permanent whatever, there were those they call super palm sex, and they confessed, people like Asiodu, people like the former Kenzua, the former Oba of Benin, they were super palm sex then. They said they reviewed what was agreed. They found that Gowon had given too much to Ojukwu. He had given too much to Ojukwu. Can you imagine? Had given too much to Ojukwu. What is the meaning of that?
By agreeing that everybody should be at peace and control. Let them go.
They told him not to accept.
Don't you think Western powers were behind the reason why the Aburi Accord failed?
I wouldn't see what would be the real benefit of Western powers. I wouldn't see much benefit.
The benefit there is that they said that was the period that the oil was discovered, the oil boom started. So don't you think the Western powers want to have that control on that oil? That was the reason why they had to influence Gowon on what he did.
I wouldn't think so, because Nigeria was not the only place having oil. Oil was in the Middle East. If Nigeria was the only place, I can say that's the only source they have.
So if I get you categorically, you are trying to say that Western powers were not the one that influenced Gowon?
No, I don't think it's Western power. I don't think the influence was overwhelming. I don't think so. Why? I believe that it was the same Nigerian conspiracy, the same selfishness, the same greediness of these palm sex. They told us, they had interview that they felt they had given too much. So, it was to protect their own ego.
So what do they want to achieve by saying?
They wanted to, they say, look, like, they say, how can a part be dictating to the whole? It was just ego. How can it be one man? What he says is what we're going to do. He's just ruling over one part of a nation. We have the 3/4 of the nation. What can he do?
How is it?
Because 3/4 of what you come to a negotiation. You come with your own 10 points. I come with my own 10 points. We agree on my own 9 or 7. And I agreed on 2 or 3 of your own.
Oh, I see.
So Ojukwu had a predominant, the logic of Ojukwu, his persuasive power, convinced Gowon that his own position was superior. Without undue influence. But when he now went back, the people around him,
and they were north and west, that were those people.
They were, yes, now, because it was a war, it was a quarrel between the west, the east, and the rest of. As I told you, part of the reasons that this coup was carried out was to make Awolowo the prime minister. Part of the coup, beyond fighting corruption and the poor leadership of Tafawa Balewa, they wanted to bring Awolowo, who was imprisoned by Tafawa Balewa, to become the prime minister. That was part of their reasons. So eventually, and you know where they sent Awolowo? He was sent to Calabar prison through the work of Zik, because Zik was still the president. So he made sure Awolowo was sent, because if he had been sent to North, they probably would have killed him. So he was in Calabar, which was part of the eastern Nigeria. That became an allure for him. So he accepted. So when this issue of should we accept Aburi or not, This was same Awolowo, who before this time, he went to the east, met Juku, met Okpara, and then he spoke there. It was in the Nigerian outlook. If the east goes, the west will go. The west will follow. That if the east was allowed to secede, they will also go. So one of them impetus, even the east had to stand their ground. The Aburi Accord fell apart. The Nigerian now said, okay, the way it is going, what next do we do?